Hello, my name is Dr. Gerard Tate. I am the Director of Community Impact and Engagement at SoundThinking. I was a law enforcement officer for 10 years, and then I became a master's and doctorate level social worker, and I work at the intersection of public safety, public health, and technology. Here I'm going to tell you about my views on where Data for Good is now and where I hope to see it in the future. When thinking about my vision, current state, and the future of the Data for Good program, I have to go back to the very beginning of why I thought about bringing this to SoundThinking, at the time ShotSpotter. And that was the realization that upwards of 80% of gunfire was going unreported to law enforcement. And the first question that I asked myself was, well, who else knows about this gunfire that's occurring if it's not being reported to law enforcement? And the simple answer was no one would know about it. From a policy, governmental, public health standpoint, but those children, youth, and families who lived in those neighborhoods very well knew about it. But the people who could best assist them and provide them with social, economic, health, and most importantly, trauma services, oftentimes didn't even know that they were being potentially traumatized by that gunfire that was occurring. And so at the very beginning of it, I started to think of the children. They may experience 20 shots going off on the block that they live at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they have to report to school at 9 a.m. And they may be displaying some symptoms of that previous trauma. The children may be displaying hypervigilance. It may make it difficult for them to concentrate, starting to become depressed. And all of those things could lead the teacher and administrators to think that they were being insubordinate. Maybe they were not behaving. Maybe there's a development of some other mental health issues and not what it probably was, which is that exposure to violent gun violence the night before. And then I started to think about it as a community. When 80% of the gunfire is going unreported, but we have the data about where it's happening, that tells us some very clear things, and that is trust in police, confidence in government is pretty low if gunfire can continuously occur in your neighborhood and nobody calls 911. And so what do we do at a community level? How do we let the local, not just law enforcement, but public health agencies, educational agencies, community-based organizations know what blocks are experiencing a disproportionate amount of gunfire? And then how do we direct social, economic, and health resources specifically to those blocks in a very precise and surgical manner? We may not have enough economic aid and food assistance and rental assistance for the entire community, but we can prioritize those who are being most affected. And so looking at it from a public health lens, hopefully the future of the Data for Good program is to look at it from a primary prevention standpoint, in that we want to help reduce the harm, reduce the trauma before it occurs. And so there may be families who are just moving to that area, or children who are just really resilient and haven't started to develop any long-term effects of that violence exposure, that if we know where they are and where they live, we can quickly direct resources to help them in the community, at school, and ensuring they have primary care and mental health services to assist them. Those families who are experiencing that trauma and violence, who may be starting to normalize it, that we can direct public health education programs and other supports to those, particularly parents and even older adults who may be out of work now or retirement age, who live in those communities.